What's going on, YouTube? Ryan Ox back from Dopamon once again. Today we're doing a little series preview for the Edmonton Oilers versus the Los Angeles Kings, the second and third seed in the Pacific Division, a seen as somewhat weaker division in the NHL, but I think this matchup could be really, really good. If you're excited for the playoffs, leave a like on this video and tell us who you think is going to win this series. Without further ado, Alex, what's happening here, man? What's going
What's
on?
happening here is we have two teams who faced each other 4 times, but the past 3 times they faced each other, Edmonton has won. The first game, December 5th, 5-1 LA. On February 15th, 5-2 Edmonton. On March 30th, 4-3 Edmonton in shootout. You don't have shootout in the playoffs, remember that.
Yeah.
And April 7th, Edmonton 3-2.
Yeah. So series was taken by Edmonton, and on paper are the better team. They should win this series. They're the home ice advantage. They were the 2 seed for a reason. And also, the Edmonton Oilers had a incredible second half of the year. I think we're fourth in the NHL for points percentage after January 1st, after they fired Dave Tippett and you know overcame their struggles in November and December. We did a whole video on that, if you remember. But yeah, the the scoring is hilarious on this team for the Edmonton Oilers. You just look at the top three. The separation between Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman is another Zach Hyman. It's really funny. 123 points for Connor McDavid and 110 for Leon Draisaitl, and then Diamond sitting there with 54. Kopitar leads the league, or leads the LA Kings in scoring for that team. Had a great start to the year, not a great second half of the year scoring wise. This is a team that does it a lot more by committee. Adrian Kempe, Philippe Deneau had a little bit of a breakout offensive season. Victor Arvidsson with another 20-goal season. Trevor Moore, 48 points. Alex Iafallo's in there. Dustin Brown always chips away a couple goals here or there. And they're young. They're a really, really young team. They have a lot of prospects. And this was a team that I had on my watch list at the start of the year to do something in the regular season and make the playoffs. And here they are. They have guys who are under 23 years old. Arthur Keliev, Blake Lizotte, Carl Grundstrom, Rasmus Kupari, Quentin Byfield's played 40 games for them. Jordan Spence on the back end, Michael Anderson, Thomas Bjornfot, Gabriel Velarde suited up for 25 games. Lias Anderson started earlier in the season, but they're young. They're young and inexperienced with a couple guys that really aren't. Kopitar, Brown, they were part of their. Jonathan Quick, obviously, were part of the last run, their last cup wins. So they have cup experience on this team while being young and hungry, and I think that's dangerous in the playoffs.
I think a little bit overlooked from the Edmonton. You mentioned the separation between Draisaitl and Hyman, but somebody who didn't play a full season for them, Evander Kane, who has 22 goals in 43 games, just over a half goal per game. That's a 40-goal season if he'd played a full, season at almost a point per game. That is a lot of scoring, and I think that he has been a huge addition to that group. And going forward, in the playoffs, I think that he can even he's going to be another force to be reckoned with on the wing.
Yeah, he's a playoff style player. He's a prick and an agitator and a tough guy to go against in a 7-game series. It's going to be tough. Now, something I want to point out about this team, and the Kings, I should mention, they are going to be without Drew Doughty for the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. He had season-ending surgery on, I believe, his wrist. He's their top defenseman. He only played 39 games. He had 31 points. He's Drew Doughty. They will not have him on this team. I don't know how much that's going to matter, but it's obviously a huge loss. I know Edmonton on the other side, injuries going into it include Darnell Nurse, who was hurt a couple games prior to the end of the season. He's questionable for game 1, but we'll see. In the playoffs, players play through all sorts of heinous crap. So we'll see what happens game 1, who lines up. Something also I want to point out. The top 2 centers on this team, Alex, on each team
Mhm.
oppose each other in their styles, they're polar opposites.
Yeah, they're
um,
very, very different styles of play. This isn't two
Adrian
similar teams.
Adrian Kempe is listed as a center here. I don't think he plays center
No,
most of the time. He
he's
plays
a
a wing.
winger.
But
Yeah.
Anze Kopitar and Philippe Danault going up against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. This is pure offense versus pure defense. I'm a Leaf fan. Philippe Danault was the bane of Austin Matthews' existence last year. He was solely, basically, the reason why he did not have a great series and why Mitch Marner was shut down. He shut down Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. He can 100% shut down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl if given the opportunity. Obviously Edmonton had a huge disappointment last year as well, getting swept by the Winnipeg Jets in the North Division first round last year. What's your expectation of the Edmonton Oilers? Because I feel like there's a huge question mark on them.
I want to attribute not all, but some, more so than maybe you do, of what Montreal was able to do to Toronto, to being able to roll two pairings of D that were amazing, that they had then lost in the following offseason. But part of what worked for them to get them to the finals is being able to roll just two pairings, and they'd play over all game, and that was able to shut down a lot of top sixes. And yeah, Dano was a huge part of it, but I think that you can't, it's not just hard forechecking by your forwards that defend. You need a strong defensive core, and I don't know if shift in and shift out you can keep up with McDavid with just thinking about Philip Deneau and being able to be like, yeah, now we got McDavid. Like that's Connor McDavid is amazing, and he's gonna throw tricks and tricks and tricks at you. And I think that LA is gonna have a really hard time, especially struggling on the specialty teams. We haven't really talked about their PK isn't great. And the Oilers' power play is, and McDavid with, on a 5-on-4 with extra space, you can get, you can, as a defenseman, as a forward defending against that, you can kind of lose track of players. And, guys like Draisaitl, Kane, who can put the puck in the net, are going to be that much more dangerous too.
Yeah, it's going to be, I agree with everything you said. I agree. It's going to be real tough for the LA Kings. The LA Kings are young, but I don't think it'll be enough. For my prediction here, I do have the Edmonton Oilers winning this series, and I will say they will win in 5 games.
I completely agree. 5. And I'd love to be proven wrong. I've been talking about, the teams retooling, like rebuilding, like Anaheim, LA, Ottawa, Detroit. Those 4 teams in particular have been ready to take that next step and become a playoff team. So I'd love to see LA do that, but I think this is going to be a big year for McDavid in the playoffs. Personally, I think he's just going to elevate his game even more than what he had in the regular season.
Yeah, LA's time is coming. LA is going to be really, really good in a couple years. Them and Anaheim and California are going to be very, very good in 3 or 4 years. It's not their time yet. Jonathan Quick, we didn't even talk about the goalie, really.
Mm-hmm. I'm still getting there.
Jonathan Quick had a kind of resurgent season, but he won't be enough. The goaltending in Edmonton does scare me, but Mike Smith has been red hot to end this season.
He has just been incredible. He turned his save percentage up to 915. Like, that is good, and it was awful before. So I think the goaltending head to head, as long as both are healthy, is going to be fairly even. But and I think that's why we can kind of almost brush past them to talk about the our predictions, because it just won't matter as much because both are going to be good, and that's just going to be it.
Yeah, couple veteran guys running out there in Jonathan Quick and Mike Smith. Mike Smith, 40 years old, has been around a long time, and Jonathan Quick is 36. So they're the veteran goalies running out there. I'm excited to watch both. Hopefully Quick because Quick has stood on his head before. I remember the last time the LA Kings were in the playoffs. I can't remember what year this was. I think it was Vegas's first year. So it would have been, what was that, 2017-18, the 2018 playoffs?
Yes. Yeah.
The 2018 playoffs, the LA Kings and Vegas Golden Knights met in the first round. And it was like the most low scoring series I've ever seen. It was like 1-0,
Oh, I do remember
2-1,
that.
2-0. I think Jonathan Quick lost that series with like a .960 save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So Marc-Andre Fleury and the Vegas Golden Knights bested him. But he can turn it on. He's a playoff performer. He's won multiple Stanley Cups and arguably is the best goaltender of the 2010s in a lot of people's opinion. People say Carey Price and Henrik Lundqvist. It might be Jonathan Quick, you guys. So maybe he has one more little run in him. Hopefully Mike Smith can play good enough. He doesn't have to steal all these games for them. If he can play good enough to shut down the top scorers, and the defense can shut down the top scorers. They have Duncan Keith for veteran leadership down in the back end for the Edmonton Oilers. Could be huge for them. We'll see. This is a huge toss-up for me, but I still feel Edmonton's going to run through the LA Kings. I think they're going to figure it out. But this is a weird toss-up series. A lot of the ones I'm like really set on one or the other. I don't know. I think this is going to be a really wide open series.
Yeah.
Like
because you know that LA can at any time just blow up, right? That it could be now. So who knows?
We just talked about, and breaking the fourth wall of chronological order here. We just talked about Minnesota St. Louis, and I think it's going to be that series is going to be really closed. This one's going to be wide open. We're going to see 6-5 games in this series for sure. Unless the goaltenders do some crazy shit. But we'll see. Everything else to add, Alex?
That is all for the first preview for the first few games.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing these previews. Look out for those on the channel. Monday's games will probably be up before Tuesdays. We're going to spread these out a little bit. Just for our own well-being here, because we've done a lot of videos the last little bit. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like on the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more dope hockey content. We got lots of stuff through the playoffs. We're going to think about do some live streams. We got draft stuff. We got World Junior stuff when the season's over. All sorts of hockey. We love talking about it, so let us know what you think about our faces in the comments section and our opinions. We're going to be wrong on a lot of it. I hope we are, because that's why the Stanley Cup playoffs are fun. And yeah, I hope you're wrong too. Peace.